Hi, I'm Eliza D. Hope everyone is doing great. So today is the 15th of Elul. That's the 15th on the Jewish calendar in the month of Elul, which means that we have 2 weeks left before Rosh Hashanah. So I hope that today you are a better person than you were yesterday, a better Jew than you were yesterday, and I hope that you're preparing your case before Rosh Hashanah so that when you go before God on Judgment Day, that you will be inscribed and sealed in the book of life and good health and all great things. So I'm just remembering many years ago that I spent Rosh Hashanah with some friends of mine in Woodmere, New York. And I wanted to help the hostess a little bit before the holiday, and I think she just wanted to get me out of her way. So she gave me a whole bunch of these brain teaser gadgets, like of the Rubik's Cube kind, but the more modern ones, the metal things that are all entangled. You can't figure out how to get it in, how to get it out. Everything about these games is like counterintuitive. It's against logic. They give you like a ball that's too big to go in the hole, and you either have to get it in or get it out. And there's all types of tricks to these things, which I had no idea how to do. So she definitely kept me busy and out of her way. And I just couldn't figure them out. I tried absolutely every which way, and I tried to be a big genius, and nothing was going on. I think even the dog was like laughing at me, put his paws over his eyes just not to watch anymore. I'm like, this is impossible, this is impossible. Can't tell you didn't enter my mind to take a hammer and smash the whole thing, but of course I didn't do that. But I did do something that I rarely do, and that was give up. I couldn't do it, and I had to ask my host or hostess, I don't remember at the time who showed me, how do you do this? Like, what's the trick here? But of course, because it was before Rosh Hashanah, and I believe that there's no coincidences in life, so to me the episode was a symbolic lesson, and it was probably something that I needed to learn before the new year, was that, am I going to go into the new year with yesterday's problems? Am I going to keep trying to untangle those problems on my own? Or for once, am I going to ask for help? Because it really happens so often in life that we just can't resolve our own problems. We're stuck in our own mindset, and probably it's that same mindset that got us into the problem, so how can it get us out? But we don't want to ask advice or opinions because we're all geniuses and we're so smart, and we shut up everybody who means well and tries to help us, because taking their advice diminishes from our greatness, because we're know-it-alls in every field. But that's wrong, plain and simple. And sometimes we just have to ask, and sometimes we just have to be quiet and listen. And I remember when I interviewed Larry King, and he said to me, whether you like him or not, he still did interview the world's most famous people, and he said to me, I never learned anything by talking. I learned everything by listening. And he was right on that, because as a journalist myself, I can definitely say that listening, keeping my mouth closed for all those years, I learned a lot. So what's the point of reinventing the wheel when we can benefit from somebody else's wisdom and just roll with it? And of course, there was no greater imparter of wisdom than Moses himself. He was privy to the mysteries of the universe. He saw God face to face. He was shown the entire panorama of history from the beginning until the coming of Messiah. But Moses, like my host or hostess, but in a much more complex fashion, gave us the key to the gadget, the key to life, and that's called Torah. So, do we want to listen once and for all, or do we want to keep doing it our way? The world that we live in, I don't need to tell you, is growing darker, more complex every day. We're caught in an intractable mystery now. Coronavirus, economic uncertainty, the riots. Where is all this going, and how are we going to get out of this mess? We're in a brain teaser of the highest order. Was it our logic that got us into this? Will our logic get us out of this? So perhaps the key is to listen. In today's parasha, this week's parasha, Ki Tavo, I'll start at the end of the parasha, the last sentence of the parasha. You know what it says? You shall observe the words of this covenant so that you will succeed in all that you do. Now, if you start reading from the beginning of the parasha, you'll see that in this week's parasha are listed a whole litany of curses if we don't listen to God, and a whole list of blessings if we do. It's a very simple equation. When we listen to Moshe Rabbeinu and the Word of God, things will go good for us. We will not be trapped in this Rubik's Cube of twisting life in every which direction to make the surface look good. Maybe the surface will look good, but underneath will be rotten, and when the foundation is rotten, it's bound to implode, to cave in on itself. Perhaps it's time for all of us to start listening. While God is still whispering, although it's getting louder and louder. We can think that we went too far sometimes, and that we can't get up and we can't go back and we can't be the Jew that Moses wanted us to be or God wanted us to be. And I just remember a story when I interviewed many years ago. It was a famous Rebbetzin Youngreis in New York. She had a movement that brought people back to Judaism, a Holocaust survivor, an amazing, amazing woman. And she told me in the interview that she was a renowned speaker all over the world. And she was invited to speak at a prison in Israel. And for the life of her, she could not think what to tell the prisoners. Just somebody who was full of words and wisdom. The words failed her now. And she arrives at the prison, still no speech, still no idea what she's going to tell them. And she's going into the prison with her aide, a woman that helped her for 20, 30 years. She was with her a lifetime. And they get in front of the women, and just as the aide is walking toward the room, the auditorium, wherever they were, her aide falls down in such a crashing, embarrassing fall that everybody was flabbergasted. The Rebbetzin, the aide herself, and all the prisoners. Everybody just stood there with their mouth hanging open in shock. At that moment, the Rebbetzin in her mind said, Eureka. My dear prisoners, friends, women, this fall didn't happen for no reason at all. I had no idea what I was going to speak to you about, but she just put the words in my mouth. In life, sometimes when we least expect it, we can fall and crash. The important thing is to stand back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Do you have any questions? Everyone was stunned and touched, and even today, as I remember this moment, it gives me goosebumps. We've never gone too far, and we've never fallen too low or too deep or too hard to get back up. And what's our aim? Because when you get back up, you have to have an aim. Where are you going? And I heard a rabbi speak about this week, and I searched to find which rabbi said it. I couldn't find it, but this idea is not mine. He says, if you want to be a fighter pilot, you don't just roll out of bed and become a fighter pilot. Or whatever you want to be, you don't just roll out of bed. And you have to know what you want to be in order to get even close. You want to aim for the stars. You know, you have to have the direction where to look. You might not reach the stars, but at least you'll be in the vicinity. You'll be somewhere within the range of what you're aiming for. In the book of Breshit, the Genesis, it says that man was created in the image of God. If we are created in the image of God, then that is our blueprint. That is our thing that we want to be. Will we necessarily get there to be as great as God? No. But that's the path we have to travel. That's the goal we have to reach. That's the aim that we should be aspiring for. To be like gods on this earth, not just to have control, to do nothing, and to feel self-important. To be like gods, to be good people, honorable, sincere, giving charity. Everything that God does to make this world a better place, that's what we have to do. We have to breathe life into our actions. Our actions should not be killing actions in terms of just, let's say, gossip or shutting people down or being saboteurs to other people, to other people's dreams. We're supposed to be pro-creators, creators. Also in Genesis, it's written, God said, let us make man. Why us? Does God need a partner? And the exegetes explain that the reason that it says, let us make man, is because we are partners in our own creation with God. You can become what you want to be. You have the best partner. He's in a way a silent partner, and he's giving you the breath to go ahead and live your life. I think back to the brain teasers. It's really, they say killing time. Don't kill time. Life is time. Don't kill time. Use it wisely. 15 days, prepare yourself to meet your maker in the court that we are going to be entering on Rosh Hashanah. And so to sum it all up, don't let the coming year be another brain teaser where you're still trapped in an intractable problem that was made by your own doing. We have the answers. It's in the book that God gave us. Before you are blessings, and before you are curses. Why is it so difficult to choose? The curses bring death. The blessings bring life. That makes it a little bit easier to choose. We've tried it our way already. Don't be like one of those who keeps these brain teasers in their hand, trying to outthink it, and while doing so, kill time. Choose life. Choose blessings. Choose wisely. And choose quickly, because not even your life lasts forever. Shabbat Shalom.